My question just was, like, someone like me who's in college, 21 years old, is not quite sure what they want to do yet. What would you like? What type of things would you recommend to start the path to success?
You're 21. What are you majoring in school?
Economics.
Okay. So I would say while you're in school, well, if you want to, you can tell me, where do you go to school? Here in Florida or?
No, Mount St. Mary's. I play D1 soccer there.
Okay. So for school then, you're on scholarship. Partial scholarship?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot better. Bro, I would say like try to pick up a skill, man, that will get you a job immediately. Obviously, the job market right now is really competitive. Having a bachelor's nowadays is kind of like almost having a high school diploma 20 years ago. So, and then on top of that, I think people need to understand that the college industry has really become a business, right? It's been increasing its tuition. More people have been going, and it's kind of saturated the market with a lot of bachelor's degrees. So I would say the way to diversify yourself is have like a skill set that will get you an entry-level job right out of school. Now, with economics, unless you got connections, it might be a little bit tougher to do it with a bachelor's degree. Yeah. But I don't know if it's too late for you to switch majors, maybe into something like accounting, something that will get you a job right away. But for me, when I tell people to go to college, it's always with like something in mind. But for you, it's a little bit different because you got an athletic scholarship, so you're not incurring all the debt that like regular college students do.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit more breathing room. But I would say like make sure to have a skill set and build some connections so when you get out, you're not spending 1, 2, 3 years fucking off and not being able to find a job.
Yeah. And I was thinking about either maybe going to like get my MBA or go to law school. What would you think about that?
Good question. If you're going to go to law school, you got to go to like a top 20 school for it to make sense.
Yeah.
For it to make sense. So because that's also a very saturated industry as well. Unless you're willing to go to a, not as good of a school, maybe take on a job that doesn't pay as much, maybe a public defender or something like that, get your litigation experience up and then work your way up. But it really depends on what kind of lawyer you want to be. Yeah. But that's one way to get in. But I would say like just, but to make things easy, try to get into the best law school you can. And it's not necessarily because it's like better education. It's because those schools tend to have connections, right? That's why the Ivy League is so prestigious. It's not that the kids are like actually smarter, which a lot of them are, but it's because the connections they have in the professional world is what's invaluable because you basically go into a network where you're guaranteed a job, right? You graduate from Harvard, even with like a woman's studies degree, you'll be able to find a job as comical as that is. So it's all about the network from the school. Okay.
So just focus on networking, you would say.
Networking and getting out of school with a skill set.
Okay.
With a skill set. So that's what I would say for the young guys as well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No worries, bro. Keep killing it, man. Don't get anybody pregnant.
Hey, Myron.
What's up, brother?
It's a pleasure. It's amazing to be here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Council Club.
Hey.
Shout out to OSS.
Yeah.
So my name is Aias. I come from actually Brownsville, Texas.
Oh, nice.
I know you have a lot of memories over there working HSI. So I actually wanted to stay on topic for now, right? So obviously, to the point, it's all because of feminism, right? So can you explain where it actually came from? Feminism, just the idea.
The small hats.
Them boys.
Yeah, them boys, man.
Every single time.
Yeah, man. Every single time, bro.
So
most progressive ideologies come from there.
Okay, so how do we get rid of it? Like right now, how we're at with Donald Trump, everything.
I'll be honest, man. This kind of black-pilled, but we're never going to be able to really stop the spread of feminism.
Gotcha.
Right? The thing is that we've almost gone too far now. And I know some people might say, oh, that's really black-pilled, but it's realistic. Like, think about it. Feminists have fought for what, 60, 70 years to kind of, for this egalitarian society. They're not going to concede all the ground they've taken to say, oh, we want to go back to the kitchen. It's just not going to happen. So really the only way nowadays for guys to get like that submissive woman that's going to adhere to those traditional traits is two things. Number one, you need a girl that has that mindset already that's instilled from her from a good family. Right. And then her willingness to do it, and then you being that guy where she wants to submit to you. The days of being an average guy and getting a girl to submit to you and be dutiful in the United States, almost gone, man.
Right.
Almost gone. So we're in a very strange time now because we have more single people than ever before. Marriage rates are the lowest they've ever been. Divorce rates are the highest they've ever been. And this is the direct cause of feminism because when women feel like they can do better, they don't settle.
Right.
And then on top of that, we have like this entire blue pill society that tells women it's okay to be a whore. It's okay to be promiscuous. It's okay to have fun in your 20s and then find a guy at 35 to rescue you, when in reality that's not going to happen, right? Because their value from a sexual market value perspective has gone down. So I just don't see it like regressing for them, because they look at it like we've made so much progress. So I think, and this is what when I mean like women get to have the proverbial double dip, where they could go ahead and behave like a man, get the career, go to school, have these masculine tendencies, and then they reserve the right to go back to being a traditional woman if they find the right guy.
Definitely.
What I'm telling guys is find a girl that's traditional like that off rip,
Right.
versus having to be with a woman that is a, Jekyll and Hyde type. Because there are a lot of women out there that are like Jekyll and Hyde, and, it might look good. Oh, she's a boss babe, but she could be submissive too. That's all good and dandy until she's standing across from you at a family court,
Right, yeah.
Then she's going to use her money and her resources to take yours. So I think guys just need to be really intelligent and move cautiously when
Definitely.
dealing with women, because unfortunately, men have way more to risk in marriage and long-term relationships than women do.
Completely agree with you. If I may,
Yeah,
another
yeah.
question about actually from the border cartels. If I may,
Sure.
So I know you already worked a lot with HSI over there on the border, and I actually heard somebody talk about actually special forces from the Mexican side, them talking about some methods that they learned, chemical mixtures to get rid of dead bodies, right?
Okay.
And they learned it from Israeli operators, quote unquote,
Yeah.
right? So I actually want to know, have you ever heard of that going on down there?
I haven't heard about that particularly, just so I can kind of, so when I was on the southwest border, I was there from 2014
Laredo, right?
to in Laredo. Yep. From 2014 to 2018. And I dealt mostly with Zetas.
Right.
But now it's, I think it's Cartel del Noreste now.
Yeah.
So they weren't really, they're already like a paramilitary organization. I didn't hear anything about that because they just had such a tight grip on Tamaulipas that it didn't matter if they hide the bodies. They ran shit, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So like with Miguel Trevino and all these guys, Z40, these guys ran shit. So like they didn't have to do that. But no, I don't put anything past the Israelis, bro. Honestly, look, as much as I criticize the state of Israel, they have probably one of the best intelligence agencies or intelligence communities next to the United States.
Definitely.
And that's because they have really good technology. That's because they get all the aid from us. It's because they're surrounded by enemies, so they have to be innovative. It's because their military is fairly small and they can't really wage ground wars like that.
Right.
So they have to rely extremely heavily upon their intelligence agencies to do assassinations. The Mossad is the number one. Sorry. The Mossad has the most confirmed assassinations of any intelligence agency, by far. So, they have to be very cunning. I mean, with the pager attack that they did, as much as I criticize them a lot because I know what they're capable of from an intelligence perspective. So they could go ahead and go after their adversaries with, fine-tooth precision rather than bombing an entire area.
Gotcha. One more thing.
All right, we got a line. Yeah, that's fine. One
Okay.
more, and then we'll go to the next person.
So,
hey, guys, if you guys want to get in line, just right here's the line formulating. Okay, cool. Just go
On
ahead.
about Kiki Camarena.
Okay, yeah.
How deep
DEA
does that
agent.
go?
It's funny. I met his family, man. They had like a
Amazing.
They had like a remembrance from in Laredo like years ago, like 2016 or something like that. I think back then in the 80s was a different time, right? It was
Yeah.
a different time. Like the modern cartels now, they understand that killing law enforcement is a really bad move because whenever they do that, they shut the border down and they're trying to find the suspects. Like when they killed Jaime Zapata back in like 2011, 2012, rest in peace to him, because he came from my office. They shut down the border, and it hurt business so bad that basically the Zetas like found the guys that were responsible and like tied them to a tree and told the Americans to go get them
I see.
because they understand that killing feds is a very bad business proposition. So things have changed a lot.
I got you. Okay. That's all. Hey,
All right, bro. Hey, man.
a
Shout out to
pleasure.
Brownsville. Shout out to the 956. Hey, man.
I say put an 956.
Yeah, bro. I love South Texas, man.
What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? How are you?
Pretty good. It's a good night. Beautiful night. Yep. So I'm actually from Hawaii.
All right.
I came all the way from Hawaii, originally from Houston, Texas.
All right.
And my question is, do you feel like as men maybe like showed more like testosterone and like we're more like men, maybe more women would be submissive, I feel like we have an imbalance.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think, so the male and female relationship is adversarial by nature, right? So if one party becomes more masculine, it's almost, a foregone conclusion that the other side is going to be more feminine, right? So as women have started to behave more and more like men with pursuing a career and, getting into male jobs and entering the workforce in general and having this egalitarian society, it has masculinized a lot of women. And, a lot of guys by default are kind of like, oh, well, women make their own money now. It doesn't matter. Because, like, it used to be, like, guys understood that they would be the sole breadwinner. So they understood, like, okay, there's a burden of performance on me. I need to make money to support a family.
Right.
Now guys are kind of like, all right, I just need to make enough money for me. That's all. She could go ahead and bring her 50.
Right, but the reason I feel like that's a problem is that, like, the imbalance comes from everybody really needing to do self-work. It doesn't just come from women deserving necessarily less. I feel like women by nature should deserve whatever they need to get from the man that's supposed to be a man. You know what I mean?
So I'm confused. What's your actual
So my
position?
thing is if more men act like men, then we wouldn't even have the issue of women trying to be masculine in the first place, right?
Yeah, I mean, I see your perspective. You're saying like men need to step up or whatever.
Yeah, we step up, then maybe they won't have to step up.
But here's the thing, right? So we live in like this world now, right, where we're constantly shoving down young men's throats that women are equal to men. They could do everything you do.
Right.
Women are queens. So it's like guys, like a lot of guys are blue-pilled, and they don't understand that there is an invisible burden of performance on them where they need to still perform. This whole 50-50 partnership stuff doesn't work. But see, here's the thing. It takes guys years to figure that out. Because remember, you grow up, you're watching, Netflix, you're watching the television nowadays.
Right.
Since the 90s, right, we've seen very pernicious television that's kind of put women in like the leader roles and the men as idiots. You look at shows like Family Matters. You look at shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like all these sitcoms from the 90s.
A lot of movies
80s.
Growing up too.
Exactly.
Like stay-at-home dads or single moms and things like that.
Or the mom or the woman is like the voice of reason and logic, right? So this propaganda has been going on for decades. So it's very difficult to like unteach young men that.
So what's the purpose of feminism, and like what is it, like if who's making these decisions? Why are they trying to make us have less testosterone and like be less manly?
Well, I mean, the purpose of feminism, there's multiple different reasons why, but I think a big part of it is to double the workforce.
Well, that sucks.
And when you double the workforce,
So it all comes down to money, right?
almost everything has a tie to money to some degree, yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously, like, women complaining and stuff like that, of course, too. But, feminism, man, I don't think people really understand how destructive it is until, like, you get on the other side and you understand like that there are inherent gender roles.
Right, but the second that you give people a choice, like this, the second that women started feeling to have a choice, then we can't really just say that they don't anymore. You know what I mean?
They want what?
That they don't have that choice anymore, because there was a point in time where women were getting paid like less and things, but now they have all these freedoms. So you can't really go from giving women all this freedom and then just being like, you know what? I'm the man, you're the woman. You can't do everything that you used to do anymore.
Well, ironically enough, that's what they want, though.
How do you find the balance?
Ironically enough, that's what they want, though.
Is there even a balance? Or is
No, I'm saying they don't want a balanced relationship. And that's the real red pill, is that they don't want a balanced relationship. Media tells you they want to.
It's confusing. It's so confusing. Like, I don't even date because I'm so confused anymore. Like,
Yeah, well, the other thing that's important is,
I'm
like,
so confused.
I think men need to understand that, like, never pay attention to what women say, rather watch their behavior.
Right.
Because if women told you the truth, oh, I want a guy to like pull my hair when he smashes me. I want to be
Whoa.
treated like a whore. I want to be dominated. I want the guy to be a leader. I want him to be authority. I want to be confident. Like if women actually admitted what arouses them and what they're actually attracted to, it would make them look really bad. So these are things that is just not going to be publicly put out there. You just have to get it as a man. Does that make
or
sense?
just know, like the cues. You're talking about
you just have to know.
emotional and cues, right?
Women don't want to have to explain to men how to be attractive.
Oh yeah, of course.
By revealing the process, it destroys the process.
But what do you think we can do to save this world from feminism and the imbalance that it's causing?
I mean, if
Like, where do we even start? Is
I
it with ourselves?
I'll be honest with you, bro. We can't go back. Like we would need like an authoritarian dictatorship to get women to get rid of feminism, and that's not happening.
Then we just got to deal with it.
Yeah, really. I think the best way to navigate it in a realistic sense is men just have to adapt, understand this is the new marketplace, and prepare for the new normal.
So how do we prepare for the new marketplace?
You have to become as high status and as high value as you can be.
Okay, so I'm working on that. So I'm doing good. Okay, what else?
Get it? That's pretty much it. And that's just to play the game, by the way. That's just to play the game, right? So like you're in a position where you have a fighting chance.
Okay. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, man. Self-improvement's key. Shout out to DPG gifting 50 subs, man. Shout out to you, man. He's here, but y'all can't see him. Classified. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you.
Hi, Myron.
Real G right there.
Hey, thanks for doing this and the questions. You're taking the questions.
Sure.
Two, one, in about 10 years, my sons will be kind of in the dating market. 10 years from now, I want grandkids one day.
How are they, like 10 or?
Well, I always tell them to get their children about 35 plus. And like kind of yours, what you say,
Yeah.
focus on building yourself.
I wish
now.
we didn't have to wait that long, but yeah, that's the new normal now.
Yeah, I've been listening to your stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm
Ideally,
learning.
I would want men and women to get married at 18, but it can't be done nowadays
Virgins.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
So anyway, so 10 years, 15 years from now, what do they do? I mean, I think I've heard you say the women quality level or what?
I think the only thing a guy can do is like be familiar with modern women, how they move, adapt to that, and then figure out the characteristics that you're not willing to tolerate, and be able to identify those in women over a period of time. And I look at it like it's kind of like playing defense now, right? It used to be you go on offensive, you go after girls and everything else like that. Now it's kind of like you deal with her and you have to be in a very defensive position to ensure that she can't ruin your life. Right? I think men have to. What I tell guys is they got to date from a risk mitigation standpoint rather than taking a chance standpoint. I tell guys all the time, take chances in business, take chances on making money, take chances on things that will make you successful, but don't take chances on women because they can actually really destroy you.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. That's what I think when it comes to dating now.
Yeah, I love your advice 30 years ago.
Appreciate that, man.
Divorced, you know what I mean? Okay, last question. I just want to. I saw your last live and all the questions and the chaos. And all,
Yeah, that was wild, bro.
right? Always entertaining. But I do like I have Israeli friends, I have Palestinian friends.
Sure.
So October 7th, 2023. What is your opinion? How should Israel respond to that?
That's a really good question, and I'm really glad you asked me that because it's one of the things like, hey, well, how are they supposed to respond? So I was discussing earlier with my bro from Brownsville. Israel has the most capable intelligence agency right alongside the CIA, right? They have a fantastic, intelligence service with the Mossad, with the Unit 8200, which is like the equivalent to like an NSA, the Oman, which is like their version of DIA. So they have a very robust intelligence program. On top of that, they have great air power, and they have a lot of informants, right? So, and they've done, and with these, skill sets that they've had, they've been able to conduct the most assassinations. So for me, when I saw what they're doing in Gaza, it's like, dude, you guys could have easily done special operations, go in there, you have informants all over the place in Gaza, take out the main guys, and, destroy it from that perspective. But like the indiscriminate bombing campaign, it wasn't a good move because the whole world was actually with them after October 7th, but now it's like they're losing support all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Are you I assume you're anti-Hamas or?
yeah. So
okay.
when it comes to my thing is this. I acknowledge that they're a terrorist organization because they are by definition. But I also think it's important to understand that like if we're going to go ahead and be straight to definitions like what Hamas is, well, the IDF also falls into that category as well. I think both of them are terrorist organizations. It's just that one is equipped and supported by the United States.
I see. Would it be okay to get a selfie?
Yeah, of course, bro. Who's up next? Good questions.